Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Dan Salem. This is your three-man booth with Phil and Bud. They've swapped spots in the queue today. If you hadn't noticed, doesn't really matter. How are you guys? Welcome back.
Good. How are you?
Good. It was an interesting week of football, to say the least. Some surprising results, some predictable results. I would like to start with the headline photo that we have here, which was the firing of Mike Holmgren, because it came.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy? Oh, Holmgren was the other one. Oh,
Mike Holmgren was fired a decade ago.
He was one before. Anyways, all right.
More than a decade ago.
Yeah. Okay. So it came about a month early, in my opinion. The writing was on the wall. I knew he was going. And promptly someone for NFL Spin Zone wrote an article about how the Jets should hire Mike McCarthy now.
No.
Coach. So I want to open with this. I want to open with this fire-hire conversation.
Do not do it. Do not do it.
I agree. No.
If you can't get along with Aaron Rodgers, what more do you need to know? He runs the most plain vanilla offense in the entire league. I read an article that Aaron Rodgers consistently changed the play at the line of scrimmage. So whatever McCarthy called, he changed anyway. So what more do you need to know? Don't touch him.
Did he not play Did he have no offensive coordinator, or did he just?
Who knows? I don't know. I didn't. It was an article. I didn't read the whole thing. It was just a blurb, but that's what I heard.
So that's nice sentiment. But he's going to get a new job. I mean,
he will.
He won a Super Bowl. He's known to be great with quarterbacks because Aaron Rodgers became Aaron Rodgers under him. I mean, he was there 10 or 12 years, right? I mean, that's a really long time. So
I think he fell into Aaron Rodgers, to be quite honest with you. Who's he developed after him? There's no backup. When Aaron Rodgers went down, that the Green Bay Packers who was the backup quarterback? I forget his name.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'm looking at it like this. They never really had much of a defense the last 3 or 4 years. And so Aaron Rodgers helped them overachieve. I will say that. This year just they stink. But I don't think that falls necessarily on McCarthy. He doesn't draft the roster. So look at if you don't like him as the Jets, because is he good for the Browns? Is he good for?
Well, here's a question for you. Here's a question for you. Do you think Aaron Jones is a good running back?
Jury's out.
All right. Well, the jury's out because McCarthy wasn't using him the way he should. When he let him have the ball and have all the touches, he's putting up monster numbers. Why is he being buried and sharing carries with I forget the other guy's name? You have this back who's obviously really, really good. Why don't you use him?
It's an interesting question. I would say the same thing about the New York Jets, why they refused to run the football in the red zone after successfully running the football to get there all day on Sunday too. These coaches make pretty bonehead decisions. So I don't know what McCarthy's deal is in that regard.
It seemed like this was way overdue. Him and Aaron Rodgers have been at odds for a long, long time, and you're not going to lose. You're going to choose the quarterback over the head coach every single time. So the handwriting was on the wall. I almost wonder if the Green Bay Packers were favored by 14 points in this game and they lost outright. Did they quit on McCarthy? Did they do this on purpose? I don't know. Green Bay Packers aren't that bad.
Well, I would say Arizona's not that bad. Like, they do have David Johnson. They have some pieces. They just have a rookie quarterback, and they're inconsistent. They're not getting blown out on a weekly basis.
Their defense is not terrible. They just can't score any points.
No, I mean, it's the same story with the Jets. And so the Green Bay Packers are bad. I mean, anyways, the Green Bay Packers are bad. Like, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers minus Jordy Nelson is like a shell of himself. I
think not having Jordy Nelson on the team has impacted him tremendously because that was like him and Phil, help me out. The guy you always
Devontae Adams was good.
No, not Devontae Adams. The other one.
Randall Cobb.
Cobb, yeah.
Those were his two go-to guys. And they put all their eggs into Devontae Adams this year, stepping up and taking over Jordy Nelson. Now, granted, Jordy Nelson he was past his prime, but when he was with Aaron Rodgers, he was still putting up good numbers.
Once I think Adams proved he's a better number two because when the guys were focusing on the number one, he was always open and getting the looks. So it's
I don't know. Devontae Adams is doing very well as far as I'm concerned.
Of course you would, because he's on your fantasy team.
He's on my stacked fantasy
team. You and every other stacked player in the league.
Did you snatch up Ware before the?
Of course I did. I snatched up Ware 2 weeks ago before this even happened.
I see.
Collusion.
I see. Okay.
I mean, that's a move that shouldn't have worked out. That's, I did that on purpose, obviously, just in case Hunt got hurt. I didn't think he was going to get kicked out of the league, but.
Right. I mean, I haven't carried a running back handicap this season. I did for a week with Ezekiel Elliott, and then I said this is a waste of a roster spot. So,
there are certain quarterbacks that you should do it. Zeke is not one of them. Maybe if Zeke goes down, I don't even know the backup right now. It used to be Alfred Morris for a while. Then it was,
it's nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nobody. So there's certain running backs. I did it with Hunt. I have Barkley. I don't have Gallman on my team. Actually, I do have Gallman, but I don't expect if Barkley goes down, Gallman's not going to produce the same as Barkley does. There's certain guys, even like Gurley. If Gurley goes down, I forget the guy's name that's back up to him. He's not going to produce. There's certain systems and certain rosters you should do it. Look at Le'Veon Bell. James Conner's flourishing.
Oh, now Connor's out. So
yes, Conner's out now,
and multiple weeks.
And that's good for Bud because the guy that has Connor is in his end of the bracket.
Ooh.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. I'm not going to get into this right now.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, because I was saying, did the Saints goose egg hurt you guys? I know you've got your stacked team there.
No, it didn't. It didn't hurt me because I had number 1 seed locked up. So
okay.
Phil tanked.
Actually, Dan, you'll appreciate this. I was looking ahead and I was looking at who's playing who and the matchups in Week 15 because I get a first round bye.
Okay.
I purposely sat Mahomes and Spencer Ware and took a loss this week just to manipulate my way to the playoffs.
Oh.
Because I can.
Awful.
You tanked.
I rested Mahomes. He needed a rest day.
Okay.
Very good. But I wasn't happy with it though. Let's put it that way.
I can only imagine. I'm holding on to my playoff spot. I was in 4th. I beat the 3rd place guy, so now I'm in 3rd. So it's good.
There you go. All right, so let's get into it. What the hell happened with the Jets? Because I told you guys last week the Titans are no reason they should be given 10 points to anybody.
I'll tell you 2 things. The Titans wanted the game way more than anybody on the Jets. They were at home, and the Jets stink in the 4th quarter. I guess that was 3 things. I mean, they didn't score an offensive touchdown. I don't expect the team. That was awful.
But this is a repetitive story, right, guys? I mean, they play these games. They play so okay in the first half, and then the second half hits, and it's a completely different team, right? They don't make any adjustments in halftime. They didn't look like they played better in the first half than they have the last 3 weeks in the first half. But the second half, they played exactly the same, if not worse. They couldn't stop anybody. Marcus Mariota was running around in the pocket where in the first half you were controlling him, you were making tackles. Wide receivers that you've never heard of in your life are getting behind the secondary. Everyone forgets. Now they don't know how to cover the tight end, which has always been their problem. And before you know it, with 38 seconds left, the game's over. And then you're asking a 40-year-old journeyman quarterback to lead them down the field. What happens? Second play, pick. Done.
That's classic McCown. But you nailed it. They make 0 adjustments at halftime. They come into the game defensively prepared. I'm going to question the offensive preparedness, but they come in defensively prepared. They were up 16-0 because of the defense. They were shutting down the Titans' offense. Titans made adjustments at halftime, like all normal, really run football teams do, to not do the things that weren't working and find something new that might exploit a weakness that they saw on tape. The Jets don't make any adjustments on defense or offense. So then they stink every time in the second half.
And Phil and I, we did the podcast yesterday because obviously you could tell Phil was in a hotel room.
Yeah, I'm in my glorious hotel room right now.
Oh, fancy.
So,
but
what I'm getting at is, Mike McCarthy got fired, right? Literally right after the game. And he was going to get fired at the end of the year anyway, but the Green Bay Packers said enough's enough. We're done. We just lost to Arizona. We're done. How much more of this can we handle? How much more of this incompetence as Jet fans? Listen, we're used to losing. So that's neither here nor there. It's the way that they're losing. They look awful. This team is complete garbage. They can't do anything offensively. Their defense basically quits at halftime.
I don't know if it's a quit or you think they're just tired because they've been on the field.
But it's essentially the same thing, right? They're on the field for more than half the game.
I got to say, the special teams was great. Like, they turned the corner in some of these areas that, the little things supposedly win. But the offense is just Jeremy Bates I'm
terrible.
Yeah,
But they blocked the punt for the first time since 2013. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how bad this team has been.
I know. And so I got to say, this must be like a respect thing for Todd Bowles. Like, they respect him as a person to not fire him in the middle of the year because he's out. Everyone knows he's getting fired. Like, and everyone knows the Bates is out. I mean, I think that the whole staff's going to go. I hope they keep the special team guy because I like him. I like a couple of the middle coordinators, but it's really beside the point. I think
Carolina has lost 3 games in a row, and after the game, they fired 2 assistant coaches. Something has to be done. If they'd probably be doing him a favor just to send them packing, which is probably what they did to Mike McCarthy. They probably just did him a favor. Go home, get your affairs in order. You could probably start setting up your interviews wherever you want to go, whether that be the college or whether you can line something up in the pros. Because there's going to be 6 or 7 coaches fired this year, easily.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the Browns already fired theirs, the Packers, the Jets. I think the Panthers might fire Ron Rivera. I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Not the way they're playing right now.
I guess what's his face in Baltimore saved his job because they're kind of on the up and up.
Yeah, but what I heard is that even if they make the playoffs, he's still not safe.
Okay, because I think
Cutter down in Tampa might go.
Oh yeah, and the Bengals are definitely got to get rid of their guy.
Right, but I think the reason they hired Hugh Jackson was kind of like an heir apparent. That's what I heard the other day too.
Wow, Cincinnati fans better pray that doesn't happen.
It's Ohio. It's an Ohio thing.
I guess. I mean, that was a weird hiring anyway. Not only does Hugh Jackson get fired, but he goes to a division rival like 3 days later. I still don't understand it. Something fishy's going on there.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Jets don't want to fire Todd Bowles. They figure someone will snatch him up as a defensive coordinator.
He's going to end up going to the Patriots.
Oh, they revenge hire Jets people like no other team. So please don't say that.
They'll never hire him. Their defense is fine. Their defense is fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And the Jets' defense is not good. So what's the difference?
Do you think?
Bud and I went to the schedule yesterday, and Bud jokingly said they're not going to win another game for the rest of the year. About 4 weeks ago, we went to the schedule yesterday. Who is it? It's Buffalo. This isn't in the right order, but it's Buffalo.
Buffalo. I'll tell you the order: Buffalo, Houston,
Miami, right?
Green Bay.
Buffalo, Houston, Green Bay, Minnesota, and the Patriots.
No, Minnesota's. They already played Minnesota.
Sorry.
They got 4 games left. They got Buffalo, Houston, Green Bay, New England.
And the Patriots.
They're not going to win any of those games.
No, I mean,
it's not the way Buffalo's playing right now.
So they have a chance to beat Buffalo just like they had a chance to beat Tennessee, but it's extremely unlikely that they win any of these.
They got to play in Buffalo this time.
Yeah, and
this quarterback is used to 65, 70-degree weather with girls in bikinis. Like you got to go to Buffalo.
I know. So
that's right, because Sam Darnold is probably going to start this week too.
Oh, he definitely will. He will. Yeah. I mean,
they already said he's starting.
So they're currently tied for the second worst record in the league. Arizona's playing themselves out of that number 1 pick. I mean, I'm rooting for the Jets to get the number 1 pick. I don't have any reason to root for them to win.
They lose the tiebreaker, so right now they would have the 3rd pick in the draft.
Yeah, Oakland's got to find another victory. They were as close as they've been in a while this past weekend, but
I don't know. It kind of looked like the Chiefs were toying with them because I was right at the end of the half. They literally drove I looked at the phone and the the Oakland Raiders scored. It was like maybe, I don't know, a minute 30 left in the half. I look at it again, Chiefs scored. I mean, it's like they can just do whatever they want, whenever they want.
What scares me is that the Chiefs gave up 30 points to the Raiders, who stink. So, like, their defense, I knew that it would be a high-scoring game because their defense is just –
Do you think maybe they were just kind of taking it easy? It's like, hey, we know we're going to win this game. We don't have to go all out.
That's a recipe for disaster if they were.
I agree. I know we said that last week. You don't want to. You got to play full speed, or that's where injuries happen. But all these teams do not take every game as seriously as each one. Like if they were playing the Patriots, you would have seen a lot better defense, in my opinion.
Well, that's where the Jets are right now. Because I think was it Curse or something came out. They ask him every week how the offense did, and he goes, "I still have a job right now, so I won't answer that question."
Quincy and Noon once said that. And by the way, Jermaine Curse can't catch a freaking cold right now.
Oh.
Okay, he got 5 targets. He couldn't catch any of them.
Him and McCown were like this last year. I don't know what happened, but
I said that to Phil yesterday. All of a sudden, he forgets how to. He's got like 20 receptions this year.
yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, there are about 5 or 6 guys I want the Jets to keep. Everyone else, I don't care. Clean house.
What do you think of Robbie Anderson?
I don't like his attitude. He's got to go. He's not helping the locker room. He's got to go. He's got speed and skills. I mean, throw him on the Packers. Aaron Rodgers will make him a star, but he's just too much of a whiner. He's not good for this culture.
He caught like a 8-yard pass, and then he threw the ball down at somebody on the sideline. He gets a 15-yard penalty. How much more? This goes back to coaching. Yeah. How much more of this? Every game that he plays, he gets one of these stupid bonehead penalties. At what point are you going to put him on the bench? You're not any good. Your football team sucks. Put him on the bench. Who cares? Where's Matthews? Didn't we sign him?
Oh yeah, you're right. He hasn't seen the field. We're starting Matthews. Oh, so we got another double-digit week of penalties too, which is just.
They had 9 penalties for 79 yards midway through the third quarter,
and they were winning. So Tennessee's not very good, right? Because the Jets stink. So the Titans are just they're not a playoff team. I can't see it. That was pathetic.
No, they should have lost. If the Jets knew how to play 60 minutes of football, that game wouldn't even have been close. But they can't score any points. And
I want to use that to transition to the Giants, who I have the Bears in a pick'em league, so I was rooting for the Chicago Bears, who were down by 10, score the field goal,
good.
Kick, score the touchdown, to go to overtime, and then like the Giants get the field goal. I'm like, all right. So I commend the Giants for hanging on to that victory. They're keeping themselves in the race. Oh man, did they try to give that to Chicago? Now, Chicago's a better team, but
so there's only been before on Sunday. There's only been 4 successful onside kicks. I don't know. I don't know what you guys saw when they made that onside kick. It looked like no Giant was even close to the ball. It's as soon as the ball hit the ground, the Bear guy was there to cover it up.
There was not a doubt in my mind that Chicago was going to tie or win that football game at the end.
It just, it made for a thrilling theater because, again, and I said this about yesterday, 2 weeks in a row, 2 games, the Giants were clearly the better team on the field. They had double-digit leads in both of them, and in both of them they squandered them away. Now, I couldn't tell you the reason for it, but it happened. Saquon Barkley, again, another 100-plus yards rushing. You had Beckham throwing it looked like almost like a flea flicker. The guy was wide open. Eli hits Beckham on a wide open thing. It took 12, what are we in, 13? It took 13 weeks to get here. The offense is finally clicking. It's just too little, too late.
Well, I got to say I was impressed because Chicago is one of the better NFC teams right now. And they managed to –
Eli got sacked 3 times. That's it, 3. Yeah.
I mean, if
this game happened 4 weeks ago, he would have been sacked 15 times.
I think they're smelling the division falling to them, and they're playing their hearts out. Now, I'm not sure it's going to be enough because you sent us those scenarios, and they need a lot. They need a lot. Sure. But so far, everything is played into their hands.
By the way, they have to win out.
Right. They have to win out because they already lost 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
They have to win out, and literally everybody else in the division has to lose the next 4 weeks. So it's possible. Play each other
a bunch. It's possible. I mean, so I got to say, because now I told you last week that Thursday Night Football home team advantage.
I was so disappointed in that game. Oh my God!
Well, that Dallas victory really hurt the Giants, but
I was convinced. The Saints were going to annihilate the Cowboys. I was so that loss hurt me actually. I was so mad at that loss.
In the pocket.
Yeah, well, a little bit. I had a few other extra things going on.
Okay, so. They stepped it up now. The home team, Thursday night advantage, kind of played into their hands. New Orleans, even though they had a whole week, they obviously took a long Thanksgiving vacation.
Clearly.
So Dallas is obviously in the driver's seat. They got a game on these teams. But I am not, on board with the Cowboys necessarily. It's their division to lose, but they got a tall order.
Well, they can't. I said this about yesterday. They can't win a shootout. They scored 13 points against New Orleans, who, yes, their defense is better, but it's not the best defense in the league. They can't win a shootout. If they have to make a comeback or they get 20, 25 points scored on them, they're not coming back to win the game. They're not built for that. They're built to play from ahead.
Do they have the Giants this week or next? Or is the week?
No, week 17.
Oh, not till week 17. Oh, okay.
Could you imagine if that game's for the division? Could you? It's not going to happen, but it's plausible that it could happen.
With the Sanchez coming back, and I felt bad for him last night.
He got thrown in a tough spot, man.
I mean, he got thrown into a really tough spot.
Bud cut our podcast short because he had to go watch Sanchez play.
I had to. My heart was like.
He almost got. I thought he got rocked on one of those throws that he just fluttered up. I thought he got knocked out of the game with one of those hits.
So if he had thrown that ball properly, the guy was open. It just went straight up in the air. I mean, the poor guy, he doesn't know any of the plays. And who is who did they play last night? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Philadelphia.
Okay, so Philadelphia, he comes in for the first play. You got to know it's a run play, right?
Right.
He hasn't thrown a pass in 2.5 years.
And last year,
he runs at 90 yards.
Isn't it incredible that in the last has it been 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks? 2 quarterbacks, 2 broken legs. I mean,
same team.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Same team. I don't think Sanchez is. I don't think he should play for the Redskins anymore.
Yeah, no, he better watch out. I mean, they pulled him off the retired list, so I don't know what that does for him. But
man, that was just. But Bud was so excited yesterday. He had to go watch Sanchez play.
This is a little far-fetched, but if Sanchez leads the Redskins to the playoffs, who is he starting quarterback for next season? Because he'll get a starting quarterback job. It won't be. You don't think he'll get one if he leads?
I feel bad for him. I mean, they really ruined his career. Phil knows how I feel about Mark Sanchez, and I think Mark Sanchez as a Jet got the shaft.
If it wasn't for that 4th preseason game a few years ago when playing the Giants and he got knocked out, his career might have been a whole different story.
Right. Well, now also the butt fumble didn't help, but he did throw a lot of interceptions. It's easy to forget because they went to 2 straight AFC titles with him. But
if they had ran the ball on the 1 yard line against Pittsburgh, Jets would have gone to the Super Bowl that year because they were a better football team.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of things that could have went our way. The butt fumble truly was the beginning of the end for him because you can't live that down.
No, it's been how long? It's been 10 years plus, and you still can't live it down. They mentioned it last night too. What I don't know if it was Witten or McFarland, but someone mentioned it last night.
I mean, they always do. I mean, whatever. I'm not even going to get into it.
No. But so Nick Foles would have gotten a starting quarterback job elsewhere if the Eagles didn't hold on to him because he led them all the way to the Super Bowl last year to the playoffs. If he leads the Redskins to the playoffs, someone's going to offer him a job.
At least as a backup.
Yeah, I mean,
what team needs a quarterback right now?
I mean, Jacksonville kind of does. The Giants.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but the Giants aren't going to sign Sanchez.
No, most likely.
But, I mean, you could see him. I mean, this is far-fetched, but you could see him in a place like Jacksonville with a solid running game, decent wide receivers, and a really good defense. I mean, that's what the Jets had when he was the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay's going to need a quarterback. I don't think that they have their next year guy on roster either. And this is a really bad draft for quarterbacks, so no one's drafted a quarterback. Maybe there's one guy. I think there's one guy that everyone will be wanting to trade up. The reason I want the Jets to have the number 1 pick is because there's one quarterback that maybe will be good enough. Everyone's going to trade up for him to try to get that guy. So
everyone's going to go for Joey Bosa is what they're going to go for.
Well, Joey Bosa already plays Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa. Yeah. I don't know. There's too many
facts, Phil.
There's too many Bosas in the league.
Joey doesn't really see the field much for the Chargers, so that's why you're confused.
You're right. I am confused.
Chargers look good.
Speaking of the Chargers, they got. I mean, Bud and I talked about it yesterday. Man, they got lucky to win that game too.
Oh yeah, but Pittsburgh doesn't play much defense, so
no.
It was.
But nobody's talking about the Chargers in the AFC. They're 9-3.
I know.
By the way, same record as
New England.
And they're only a game behind Kansas City.
I know.
Which is good for me because I need Kansas City to keep playing and not rest their players.
They're not going to have the ability to because they could – theoretically, if they lose one more game and the Chargers keep playing on what they're playing, they're going to lose the division. And they're going to want that first-round bye.
Yeah.
And without Kareem Hunt, I don't know if they're the same team.
So Spencer Ware will be fine.
I mean –
remember – Spencer Ware was the starter before he got hurt, and then Kareem Hunt blossomed into what he is.
Yeah, but they played Oakland. It's not really a good representation.
No, I know, but overall in the history of Andy Reid's offense and running backs, his running backs produce all the time in Andy Reid's offense.
True. Yeah.
It's just the way it's set up. I mean, they were producing when Kansas City, what was it, two years ago? Or they hadn't thrown a touchdown to a wide receiver in like a year and a half. Remember that weird stat?
Mm-hmm.
So they heavily rely on the running back.
It's true. So right now we're looking at the Chargers versus the Ravens for the wild card, and then Patriots.
No, Patriots have a bye, and then you would have
Chiefs have a bye too, right?
the Chargers. If the playoffs started today, Chargers would play Pittsburgh, and Baltimore would play Houston.
Oh yes, sorry. Houston's 9-3 too. They won 9 in a row.
Houston has won 9 in a row. Oof. And they look really good, and their defense is starting to play like they did a few years ago.
Yeah. So Deshaun Watson's the real deal. This is like his second rookie season because he only got half of it last year, but no one's talking about him anymore either. It's kind of funny. I don't know why.
That's because Patrick Mahomes is so good.
Yeah, and I guess it's his first season. They like the
Patrick Mahomes played one game last year, and he didn't throw any touchdowns and just an interception. And this year he comes on, he's got 40 touchdowns already. He realistically, he's got 4 games to go. He can throw. He might be able to throw, 60 touchdowns?
It depends on what they got to play for the last 2 weeks.
What happened?
What?
Nothing.
All right.
So unfortunately, I can't look up spreads right now since I'm doing this on the old cell phone here. But I don't know what the spread is for Buffalo. I don't even know who's favored. But
I'll look right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go on your gambling website. And let me know.
I mean, Buffalo's at home. I'm sure it's Buffalo +6. Easy.
NFL spreads week 14.
I mean, sorry,
you don't
Buffalo
carry
-6.
the paper around with you anymore, Phil, like you did in high school in your wallet?
The what? What was your question?
He said you keep the spreads on your wallet like you used to.
No. Now it's on my phone, so it's at my fingertips.
All right, so the Titans, what game you want to know?
So,
The Jets game.
Buffalo Jets.
Okay, Buffalo is favored by 3.5.
That's it? Oh,
That's telling you on a neutral field these teams are even.
They're really just begging people.
Redskins, led by the Sanchez, are 2.5-point favorites over the Giants.
Take your money and put it on the Giants because the Giants are not losing that game.
This is in Washington, though, right?
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Giants are winning that game.
You want to pick the Chiefs game?
What is it?
You want to guess?
I don't remember what it is. I saw it, but I don't remember. Who are they playing?
Ravens at Chiefs. You want to take a guess?
Ravens or Chiefs? 15.
No, it's not that high. I'm going to go like 8.
Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points.
There you go. I know my lines.
Against the Ravens, who are currently, the second best defense in the league?
Yeah, no, it's a bad week if you're hoping for Tariq Hill shares.
I'm hoping that
you're really
Tariq Hill.
Yeah, you're really hoping that the Baltimore defense shows up and stops Tariq Hill. That's what
really,
you're praying for that.
He's got Baltimore's defense too.
Yeah, so Mahomes can just throw to Kelsey the whole time again, like he did last week. But Kelsey,
that works for me.
Chargers are 14.5-point favorites over Cincinnati.
Wow,
that's too
high.
Cincinnati is. Oh my Lord.
Well, Dalton's hurt and AJ Green is gone, so they'll probably cover that no problem.
Steelers are 11 points over the Raiders.
See, the Raiders could. I was impressed with how the Raiders hung with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are better than Pittsburgh. So I don't know.
Is that game in Pittsburgh?
What do you think the Rams-Bear games is?
That's like 5.
Yeah, can't be
4.
5.
4. Yeah, 4. All right, that actually be a really good game. That'll be a good game.
Well, the Rams already locked up the division. I mean, I guess they want to win, keep winning.
But what's the Minnesota line? Because I know you're playing against Kirk Cousins, but you also have Thielen and Diggs. So
Seattle's favored by 3.
Oh, that's right. It's in Seattle. That's true. Right.
Seattle. Diggs is like nursing a knee injury. He let us down last week.
I don't care.
He let us down last week.
50 yards and a touchdown gets me 15 points. It's all I need. Just keep.
Yeah. So if you've noticed, he's averaging 4 or 5 targets a game. Last week, those 5 targets netted him 30 yards. The week before, they netted him the 50 and a touchdown. The week before that, 30 yards.
Diggs?
Yeah.
No, he's producing fantasy-wise for me.
All right. This past week was pretty awful. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, so they played the Patriots, and the Patriots always scheme against your best player. Like Thielen was having a real tough time against the Patriots defense last week.
He only had 3 receptions. One of them was a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what the Patriots do. So Dan, the Bud's either gonna be really happy next week or really, really depressed.
Oh, is this your elimination week?
It's playoffs. Playoffs start this week.
Okay, so yeah, this is our final week of the regular season, so this will determine who makes the playoffs. So, I mean, it's basically I got to win or I'm out too, but we're not quite.
Well, I mean, if the Jets lose, like we all think, you think the Jets are going to win?
No.
Okay.
They don't have they don't have an incentive to win. Like they have everything to gain from losing, and that was.
I'm going to check the weather in Buffalo on Sunday. Hold on.
It's actually going to be. I think it's going to be kind of nice in Buffalo.
It's never nice in Buffalo in December.
No, it's not going to be a blizzard.
Now the thing is, we haven't seen Darnell play in over a month. And before that, we saw him playing through some struggles. It's very likely we could get the player that crushed it week 1 because he's got a full month worth of rest again with 0 expectations. I don't know if that's enough to beat Buffalo, but nothing's going to surprise me about this football team right now.
30 degrees with 15-mile-an-hour winds. So it's going to feel in the low 20s.
Listen, Buffalo should have beaten Miami last week. Let's put it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
They got hosed by the officiating.
Yeah, they're not. They're coming together nicely. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, so it's not.
So maybe I want to change my tone. Maybe I will pick Buffalo too.
I'm picking Buffalo.
Okay. We know what you're picking.
Yeah, that's. I mean, no, I think Buffalo will win. I'm not sure that they'll cover. Like, it's just.
It's only 3 points, though. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. The Jets squandered a 16-0 lead last week, so and that's with a bad team. But Buffalo's bad, but Buffalo competes. I'll tell you that they don't just lay down for anybody anymore. They're not a doormat.
Yeah, but
their defense is good.
All right, so
more important things about the Giants game because the Jets likely lose. So the Giants game, they got a divisional game here. This is like huge for them.
They're playing Mark Sanchez, the third quarterback. They are going to win. All right, third quarterback. You're down a whole bunch of linemen. I think they lost another one last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Washington is just on the downward spiral. The Giants are winning this game.
They lost their backup right guard last night.
Right. All right. So that's the third lineman in 3 or 4 weeks. It's the Giants are winning this game. This is just the first piece in the 15 different things that have to happen for them to win the division.
So the Giants are not a great football team. So where is this trap game? So if they win this week, they're 5-8, and it's 6-7 for Washington. I don't know how. We'll have to see how the Dallas and the Eagles fall. But
so I need the Eagles to beat Dallas is what I need.
All right, so let's assume that happens. So you got 7-6, 6-7, 6-7, 5-8. The Giants are coming up on a trap game because
no, they are the trap game. They're the trap game for everyone that they play because everyone's going to not be up for that game. And the Giants are still competing. They're all playing hard. They're the trap game for everybody.
But not really when everyone's playing for the division title.
Well, but I'm saying, everyone's going to take them lightly because they think that they're the team from last year. They're a team that was 1-7, which obviously they were. So they got the Washington, They've got the Titans, they've got the Colts, who I said it to Paul yesterday. I cannot believe they got shut out by Jacksonville.
That was pathetic. Pathetic.
Unbelievable. All right, so you got the Colts, the Titans, the Redskins, and the Cowboys.
That's actually 3 bad teams right now and 1 good team.
Yeah. So it's not inconceivable that they run the table and win 4 games, the last 4 games. Again, I need them over 6.5. So that's my rooting interest right now.
Do you really think they can hold Andrew Luck in check? That's the question.
Jacksonville did, but I mean, he was averaging 3+ touchdowns for 6 straight weeks prior to last week.
Yeah, I was amazed that Andrew Luck got shut out. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
I had the Colts -4. I thought they had no problem with that. No problem.
Oh yeah, that was a surprise.
That was a loss. I took the loss on that.
Oh yeah, I figured. All right, so I'm watching. I mean, this is obviously make or break for fantasy for us this week, but I'm going to keep an eye on the NFC East. This is a very intriguing division for me. more than anything else, the final playoff spots don't excite me quite yet because we got a couple weeks till that's decided. What are your guys' final?
What's interesting is that I don't know if it changed after yesterday, but during the game yesterday, Washington is still in the wild card spot. So if every other NFC team starts losing, it's not out of the question that you could have 2 NFC East teams. It's not going to happen. But right now, if the season ended, there was 2 representatives from there.
I thought Seattle had it, but maybe they have.
Well, it might have changed. It may have changed after Washington lost. But so my final thought is Giants are going to win, and I'm going to pick Buffalo. That's my final thought.
Okay.
And I'm going to coast to a second-round playoff spot because I have a bye, so I have nothing to worry about this week.
I'm not confident.
In what?
In life, Phil.
In life.
So you're counting down to the day after the season ends and Todd Bowles gets fired. That's what we're doing right
I'm
now.
actually I'm shocked that he hasn't been fired already.
Yeah, there's something else there we don't know about.
There has to be.
This has been fun. I hope that you make the playoffs. I hope I make the playoffs. We'll see you in the playoffs.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.